Hey everybody, this is Gokai Spartan. This is going to be just another rambling video. I haven't did just a video where I just talked about Power Rangers, the project, Game of Thrones, Kingdom Hearts, and just things of that nature. And I just wanted to have a quick discussion video, and I also wanted to discuss with people that are engaging in this video. Feel free to also like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me get in the YouTube algorithm. So basically, I recently just seen the last bit of Go Juju, the newest Sentai, and it was okay. Like it was okay. It could have been better. It was more or less they had to fight against Fire Candle, and the Rangers basically beat them. But it's just that, in my opinion, I wish it was just more climactic, and it was clear that they edited in the Black Ranger scenes where it kind of reminded me of Forever Red when Leo wasn't there. Like Leo wasn't there, so they couldn't necessarily like he had to film his scenes in late, so they kind of like chopped them up. If you go back and watch Forever Red and look at the scene where they all morph and stuff and they meet Leo, like you'll see what I'm talking about. But yeah, so that happened, and then they turned into 5 Red Rangers, which I guess, but I would have chose different Reds if it were me, like personally. But I guess those were the characters. I'm gonna be honest, guys, I didn't watch all the Go Juju. I didn't do it. There's a lot of reasons why. Reason number one, I'm way too locked in on my project and making my own stuff and things of that nature. Reason number two, I'm way too locked in on Game of Thrones and Dunkin right now. And reason number three, I'm way too locked in with Kamen Rider. If I was to ever watch something else, it would probably just be some more Kamen Rider, because there's a lot of Kamen Rider that I need to catch up on. Like I was watching X8 and I was watching Build, and I was watching a little bit of Ghost, and I like what I see so far. I'm just trying to get a good idea of, because I've seen some of the Kamen Rider series in its entirety, but it's a lot, and it's different when it comes to Power Rangers. Whereas I've been watching Power Rangers since I was 3 years old, so I've seen Mighty Morphin from Cosmic Fury from front to back all the time. There's a few of them. There's a couple of seasons that I'll miss on purpose because I just don't feel like watching them over. Like when I do my rewatches, like I'm not fully rewatching Ninja Steel or Mega Force or anything like that. It'll usually be Mighty Morphin, Zeo, Turbo, Space, Lost Galaxy, Lightspeed Rescue, Time Force, Wild Force, Ninja Storm, Dino Thunder, SPD, Mystic Force, Jungle Fury, Samurai, and Dino Charge, and Cosmic Fury and Dino Fury, honestly. But when that's when I mostly do my rewatches, I skip several seasons, because some of them I don't like, some of them it's just, but more or less I do every now and then go back to some of those seasons too. Like I go back to Mega Force every now and then. I'll go back to RPM. For the record, I do like RPM. It's just that compared to everything else that's good, I like it far less than Mighty Morphin, Zeo, Turbo, In Space, Lost Galaxy, Lightspeed, Time Force, Wild Force, Ninja Storm, Dino Thunder, SPD, hell, even Mystic Force, and Jungle Fury. So everything that came before RPM I like vastly more, and Samurai I like more because I like Shinkenger, and specifically, I'm gonna be real total, maybe like Samurai because his blazing of Jade and Shiva is just hilarious to me. So I like Samurai ironically, but I still do like the Samurai Rangers. I like Decker and Dayu and Servator, those characters. But back to the special, but they made another special where Gold Ranger was talking about, like they was ending it and you see all the Sentai warriors dead, and that made me cry. That brought a tear to my eye. When all the Sentai warriors told us goodbye, that was the true special for me, specifically. That was the true send-off. That was the true goodbye. And it's going to be sad because I'm going to miss Sentai. But Sentai's not going to die on this channel. I'm going to keep on covering it, just keep on making my own lore and whatnot. And I'm just going to keep on making discussion videos and just things. I'm honestly going to start posting more videos where I talk about Power Rangers and the things that I like, because I usually do it, but I haven't been doing it as often. I haven't been making as many videos as I frequently did because, like, I'm gonna be honest, guys, it's just me, and it would be nice if I had a couple of hands on deck that could just help me at least with the creative process of things. More so, like, I already got the editing hands down. Like, I could probably, like, if somebody doesn't know, I could teach someone how to edit and do what I do, essentially, because I have a whole 10 seasons mapped out in my head already, and translating all of that at once is time consuming. That's why I was able to finish so much so fast, because it's already in my head. I've been doing this for years. I've been doing this since Naruto, The Flawless Military in 2009. Read it on fanfiction.net. I've been doing this since then. And I've been doing this even before then. I'm gonna tell y'all a little story. When I was a kid, like it was a situation where I didn't have many toys. I didn't have many toys. I had a ball, and in that I used to sit there and I didn't need like toys. I could just bounce the ball and come up with a whole scenario in my head, essentially, with all the characters fully voice acted and all that. I've been doing that since I was young. Eventually, that translated into me doing fan fiction writing. But when I was like 5, when I was like a real kid, that's like when I didn't have like the figures that I needed for the storyline. I didn't need them because the ball was the substitute for everything. So I've been telling stories for a long time, essentially. Like, it was a lot. And more or less, I have great faith in myself that I could continue on making more stories, but I would like, you know, some type of just more or less just somebody to collab with. And in general, like, I've tried collaboration with other people before, but more or less, I find it more fruitful for me to mainly just do everything myself. But I'm not opposed to teaming up with somebody in the future, because there's a lot that needs to be done. It's not just my ideas, it's other people's ideas, and might translate into a new idea, because I'm a forever moving, imaginative individual, essentially. But enough about that. Let's get back to some Power Rangers. But yeah, so I hear a rumor that they're gonna give us a new Power Rangers. It's going to be under Disney, and more or less they're probably gonna give us some variants of Mighty Morphin with completely different characters. We have a female lead. I don't know. I've seen the pictures of her going around and stuff like that. And of course, people are salty because people are sexist and they don't want a woman to be a Red Ranger, which is entirely stupid because we have Amelia and Lauren Sheba and Trini in the comic books. So I don't understand that logic. But I'm not even going to go into that. If you really want me to lock in on that, you can watch the previous video that I made. But basically, I can't wait to see it. I don't care what we get, just so long as it's Power Rangers and it's good and I can enjoy it somewhat. Hell, even if I don't like it, I'll still take it because I'm a fan. I'm in this fandom. Whether we're in dark times right now, no Power Rangers, no Super Sentai. I'm trying my best to make my own fan project just to keep the spirit for me and others alive. But I'll admit, this is dark times for Power Rangers right now. And I'm going to be here for the long haul, man. I was here since I was 3 years old. Tommy Oliver was my favorite person at that age, besides my grandfather. And more or less, Tommy Oliver's still one of my favorite characters. You add a lot of other characters to that roster. If we're talking strictly heroes, because the things I like is kind of warped because I also like villains too. But if we're talking strictly heroes, like I would say Tommy Oliver, Monkey D. Luffy, Old Mother Rogexio, even though I created her, but I actually love that character, and all the other characters that I created as well. Yugi Moto, Goku, just in general. I know most of these characters is just like for the most part, characters that a lot of people that can identify with, but I identify with Yugi because I grew up on Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff like that. And Monkey D. Luffy, every time I see that character, his face makes me smile, because by giving this man a cheeseburger, he will dismantle an entire government. And One Piece has made me cry at least over 20 times. Like, I sat down, started watching One Piece during COVID and stuff like that. And that series is just amazing and stuff. But there's just certain characters that stick with me throughout my life. Tommy Oliver was the first one. If I'm gonna go through my branch of heroes, because it's just a rambling video, so I guess I'll go through my branch of heroes and how I feel about them, and the villains as well. But I'll cover the villains last. I'll start with the heroes. Tommy Oliver, like, when I was a kid, I liked him more than anything, bro. Like, I looked up to him, and when Jason David Frank was coming up in the world after Dino Thunder, and we started really seeing his life on the internet and stuff like that, I started following him more so. I met him at Comic-Con. It was just amazing. And Tommy's just been a great character. He's a character that everybody loves. I remember when Dino Thunder came out, all the old heads came back. Everybody was saying they don't like Power Rangers. Power Rangers was whack. I'm gonna be real, I can't relate because I was still here. I never left the grid. I always had my Morphin. But a lot of people around that time, they weren't jacking Power Rangers, because there was a lot of Dragon Ball Z was around, and like, you know, there was a lot of cooler shows than Power Rangers to watch. But I don't care. Power Rangers was the first thing that I watched, the first thing that I liked. So so I don't care how corny it is, because I'm gonna be real, I love Power Rangers. It is corny, but it needs to be corny because that's what it is, and it's a beauty in some of that porn, man. Like, to be honest, like, I love the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. They're like the ultimate do-gooders. These kids finish school and then they don't go home. They're still like volunteering and doing other stuff. These are like the perfect role models. Like honestly. But yeah, Tommy And going through the Mighty Morphins, I guess I would have to say all of them really. I love every single one of the OGs, like the original 6. Because yes, I do like the replacement Rangers, but the original 6 got a special place in my heart. The original 6, Tommy, Jason, I love Jason, despite Austin St. John, and you know, what we know, but Jason as a character, I still love Jason as a character because he's a Red Ranger, and especially in the comic books where we get to see more of him and stuff like that. And when he was Omega Ranger, then he lost those powers because of the whole Death Ranger situation. And you know, Trini became the Omega Ranger. I don't know if I'm going to cover the Omega Rangers. I actually plan to because I actually put them in the video briefly when Arceus Gill was talking to Damaris. But more or less, if I do it, it'll be my own rendition of those events because I like the Omega Rangers in concept. I don't necessarily like all the adventures that they went on. I like the comic books. I don't like everything in there, I'm gonna be honest. But more or less, if I do the Omega Rangers, I'll make up my own adventures for them. I'll probably do some of the things in the comic book. I'm definitely keeping the cat though. The cat stays. The blue cat that becomes a ranger, yeah, he stays. I like him. He stays. He stays. And I was thinking if I was to do the Omega Ranger thing, I'd probably it'd be difficult, but I got a whole different plan for Kimberly. Because in my altered universe, Kimberly wants to find out who wrote the letter because she didn't write the letter, and because of that letter, Tommy basically broke up with her, went with Catherine, started life, and she couldn't really object to that due to the fact that she was in and out the 2017 Mighty Morphin world, being a mentor to that team essentially. So she didn't necessarily have time to handle her affairs here, and by the time she came back here, the Zangek Empire attacked, essentially. But Kimberly, I love Kimberly. Kimberly was my first crush that I've ever had. Like, she was the first woman that I've ever been attracted to, honestly. Amy Jo Johnson in her prime, oh my goodness. But I just love Kimberly because she's the heart of the team. And I like the Pink Ranger. If you see me in the video, you often see me with the Pink Ranger hoodie. Just because, I'm going to tell y'all another story. When I was young, I had all the Power Ranger action figures. I was like 5 years old around this time. There was a situation when I just had the ball. That was a foster care situation. I don't want to go too deep into my life, but around that time I didn't have my toys. But I did have toys at this time. I had the Red Ranger, the Green Ranger, the Blue Ranger, the Yellow Ranger, and the Black Ranger, and the Megazord. Got all of those, and I even had Goldar. The one thing I was missing was the Pink Ranger. And my mother didn't want me to have the Pink Ranger. The reason why she didn't want me to have the Pink Ranger was rather absurd. God bless you, Mom, I love you. But, you know, I'm just going to tell the story as how it happened. She basically said, the Pink Ranger is a girl's toy. It would essentially be gay for you to have such a thing. And it was just absurd to me. I asked my grandfather to get me it, and he bought it without question. And then I had all 6, and then they got into an argument and stuff like that. But I had my Pink Ranger toy, my flip head. Those were the Automorphin figures back then. So basically, I was happy that he did that, and the Pink Ranger's been special to me for that moment because it was stripped away from me for a foolish reason, for I'm just gonna call it what it is, a very homophobic reason. And like, for me, like, I just like the color pink, guys. Like, I like pink. Why do you think the Flawless Military Sigil is pink? That's my favorite color. It's pink. I like all the colors really, but like, I would have to say if I had to pick a favorite, pink would definitely be in the top 5. Probably my top 5 colors is probably just the Mighty Morphin colors. Yeah, it would be pink. When I was younger, it used to be green though. And for a while it was blue because of Ikagen. But I would have to say pink. But let's get back to these Power Rangers. Zach, I love Zach. I was listening to Walter Jones' interview the other day, and you know, he was basically talking about his experience and what happened, why he didn't watch the movie and why he wasn't in there no more. And I can understand why he didn't watch the movie, because if you're supposed to be in the movie and you aren't in the movie, why would you want to watch it and stuff like that? And like, you know, so basically I watched that interview, and I like to get all of the Power Rangers opinions on what happened that day, because it's a lot of things that happened to the Rangers, and they all have different perspectives and stuff because each human is different. Like, I met 4 out of the 6 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Each of my experiences with them was very different. When I met Jason David Frank, he was like a king. That line wrapped around the entire center, the entire con, basically. And Jason David Frank, they tried to tell him what to do, and he told them, no, I'm not going to leave until I see all my fans. And I got to see Jason David Frank that year, and I was happy. Walter Jones. Now, when I met Walter Jones, I actually didn't get a chance to get online. I was working for the con that year. I was in the Game of Thrones booth. I was selling Game of Thrones merchandise, essentially. So, but since I was working there, I was able to kind of skip the line and say what up to him and stuff like that. So I got to do that. And, you know, I would like to see Walter again one day. All of them, actually. I plan on going out to the con eventually. I do got to get back into the con scene because I used to cosplay and stuff like that. But I've been so busy with this project that I haven't cosplayed in quite some time, except for like on Halloween and stuff like that. And David, I didn't get a chance to speak to him, but I was in very close proximity to David. And I was just reading his body language. And unlike the other three, because I'm about to get to Austin next, he felt like I could tell that he kind of didn't want to be there. Like he probably wanted, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. But he seemed, I don't know, more or less, I felt like he felt uncomfortable at the time. I don't know what it was. Because the thing is, I watch these Rangers very closely like a hawk. And this is why, like, you know, when Jason David Frank passed, it really hit me hard because I was watching him closely and I was seeing the deterioration happen in real time from afar. And there's nothing I can do about it because I'm a meager fan. You don't know me, you've only shook my hand, we've only interacted once. I'm not your friend, I'm not Francis or anybody of those other people that you're around. I can't talk to you directly. And it kind of sucked because, and I asked myself this question, even if I could talk to him, would I make much of a difference? I would hope to think that I could, but I don't know, it's just wishful thinking really. But what happened to him was unfortunate, and I go over that every now and then, which is why when I started this project, I was opposed to really using his character at first, due to the fact that, you know, he passed and stuff. But realistically, if I'm going to do a Power Rangers multiverse, I can't not use any of the Power Rangers. Every single one of them has to be on board. Because like it's like if you reboot the series, like let's say if they reboot it, Sheenie and Tommy's characters would still be there. The thing about characters is they don't die just because someone else does. And I want to keep their spirit alive. I want to keep the spirit of Charmy, and I want to keep the spirit of Trini alive. I think about Black Panther and the fact that they made Shuri replace Chadwick Boseman's Black Panther, and I was heavily against it around that time. I wanted them to just recast Black Panther. Because fiction is immortal. Zeus, Poseidon, Jesus, Buddha, all of those, whether they be religious or fiction, depending on how you look at it, they're ancient stories told time and time again. And their stories keep on getting retold. Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, how many of those we had? So many. And I really wanted them to recast Chadwick Boseman and stuff like that, and they're about to do it in the new Avengers movie. Actually, I'm gonna watch that. I'm not too excited for it, to be honest, because my taste for Marvel has been soured over the years because y'all really dropped the gun on this multiverse stuff. Mainly because it was I don't know. It was a couple of projects that I liked. Like I liked WandaVision. I liked Loki. I like parts of Agatha, but I haven't even seen all of them because it was just too much overload after a while. And why would I sit here and watch Avengers when I could just sit down and watch Power Rangers or Game of Thrones or Kingdom Hearts, play that instead? Those are the trifectas of my channel if you haven't noticed. Kingdom Hearts, Game of Thrones, Power Rangers. You can say Naruto too, because Naruto, I do have a heavy experience with Naruto and stuff like that. People even call me Kisame, it's like a nickname. We all went by Naruto nicknames back then. Mine was Kisame. But Naruto's heavy in that DNA too. But yeah, this video is going to be pretty long, just because like it's a rambling one, and I just want to talk right now. And honestly, so we're still going over heroes and stuff like that. And I'm about to get to the villains too eventually. I was going over the Mighty Morphins. I think I covered Jason. I covered Kimberly, Trini. She's basically the heart of the team. Walter Jones said something in his interview that stuck out to me. He said that when Choi Trang entered the group, because there was another Yellow Ranger, there was Audrey, she was the Yellow Ranger before Choi Trang was there. She said that when Choi Trang came to the group, it brought a certain calmness, it brought something that they didn't have before. And I think about it. And I think about what the Rangers would be without Trini, essentially. Like, let's take Tommy and Trini out of the equation. Oh, damn. That's actually what's going on right now, sadly. But let's take Tommy and Trini out of the equation, and let's just say it was just the four of them. They wouldn't have that calming presence right there, because Jason's a hothead. Jack will more than likely follow Jason's lead. Billy doesn't have an anchor without Trini. They need Trini. She's essential to the group. She's essential to the group for the Power Rangers. And then there's Billy. As far as I'm concerned right now, Billy is the face of the franchise because it could be Jason, but the law. So it's going to have to be Billy, and Billy's been doing a good job, especially in Cosmic Fury and in Once and Always. Billy was one of the few parts that I did like in Once and Always and stuff like that. But I liked all the tips on the Rangers part. Like I said, things I didn't like about Once and Always was more than likely just stuff that have to do with the villains. Like I just felt like the villains was handled incredibly poorly, especially Lord Zed and Inkworth. Bajillionaire, believe it or not, I actually think she was handled incredibly good. Her plan was to eradicate all goodness. On paper, that's like a good idea. I thought that was pretty dope. I just wish she would have had a cooler design, or they could have just made Madoko Bajillionaire instead. Y'all had a design right there. Why did we need this? But it is what it is. But yeah, back to more Power Rangers, like the Ninja Storm Rangers. I love them because, in my opinion, they're the one team. There's a lot of teams that don't have weak links, but in my opinion, every single one of the Ninja Storm Rangers is strong. They don't have weak links, and I like them because they have hobbies outside of being Rangers. Like they all into some type of extreme sport. It's like if Rocket Power met Power Rangers. And out of all of the Ninja Storm Rangers, I would have to say my favorite is probably Tori, because because like Trini, she is the glue to the team and stuff like that, and she can single-handedly beat them all up because she did it in the alternate universe. Like that was pretty dope. SPD, like I like all of the SPD Rangers, but if I had to give a couple of standouts for me, it would have to be Jack, Sky, and Kruger. Red, Shadow, and the Blue Ranger. Shadow Ranger is just because Doggy Kruger's just a badass. Like he was able to eradicate all those Crybots. I remember when Mira was summoning the monsters. I think that's her name. No, her name was Morgan. Morgan, and when she was an adult, she was Morgana. So yeah, when Morgan, she was summoning the monsters and stuff like that. Liv Morgan. But yeah, when she was summoning the monsters, Doggy Kruger was destroying them before they could manifest, and that was fire. And then there's Scott Tate, and I just love Scott Tate because he's the most realistic cop out of all of them. Like I see cops that act like Scott Tate all the time, and I like the fact that Scott Tate got this thing where he wants to be the Red Ranger and stuff like that. And at first he's kind of looking down, and he has to go through like this growth where he has to learn to accept his team is just as valuable as him, that any one of them could wear the color red. And that was just a beautiful arc for him. And Jack and Z, they were literally bums on the street that became Power Rangers. It's literally a story from rags to riches, essentially. I mean, they essentially got locked up, and then Doggy Kruger gave them the ultimatum. But they did a great job as Power Rangers and stuff like that. And then Jack, after the job was done, after the villain was gone, Jack said, "Okay, I'm going to retire now. I'm going to do what, like, I have a calling." And sometimes I like that. Like, I like two things for Power Rangers. One, when they're still on duty constantly and they never give up their powers. I like that more so. But I also like it when they also give up their powers because there's something else that they want to do in life. But realistically speaking, I think it's done. The reason why is because you want to go on and live your life and go out and live your dreams and stuff like that. That's cute and all, but a monster could attack any location you're at any time. It happens all the time. That's why I don't understand the logic of them giving up the powers. I never understood that logic, because what happens when Ikagen, Madoko, Goldar, Rita, Zed, Astronomer, Darkonda, Ecliptor, Mavis, and any other asshole wants to show up and blow shit up for whatever callous reason they want to blow shit up for? They should have sent an army of freaking putties, and now you're at, where's your Morpher at? The people acting like they could just, being a Power Ranger, you could just opt out of this job. No. Why you think people don't like Carlos? Why you think people don't like the Overdrive Rangers? Because they tried to quit. You can't quit this job. There's aliens attacking all the time, every season. They don't stop. They're numerous, they're constant, and they're always here. And every time you vanquish one armada, there's another one to take its place. Let's go through the list. Mighty Morphin with Rita. She literally came out the garbage, and they had to fight monkeys from space, and pig monsters, and pumpkin monsters, and evil floating heads. And then Lord Zed comes. He's from Eltar, the same planet Zordon from. And he comes and he basically takes over Rita's forces, and they gotta deal with him. And then when you think that's bad, Master Vile shows up. And he's even worse because he transforms them all into kids. Now you can't use your powers no more. Now aliens gotta fight for you. And then the Machine Empire shows up, and all the old villains are shook now. Now all the old villains go when the Machine Empire showed up. Lord Zed and Rita like, "Oh no, the Machine Empire is here. What are we going to do? Come on, Zed, we need to get out of here! Oh no, they're going to destroy us all!" They were like Zed, Rita, and Goldar, they were all just wild. They were all scared, and I don't know why I was scared. Like theoretically, y'all were more menacing than them. I don't take the Machine Empire seriously. I got blown up by a bomb, and y'all came back and did nothing. Like, yeah, y'all had to wait all the way for Wild Force to get y'all licked back. But there's still another evil force. There's still evil robotic assholes that are still here to ruin stuff. And then after that, what we got? A space pirate who loves to blow stuff up. Divatox's favorite tactic was, I'm going to leave a bomb in this location and have a monster attack the city at the same time. Rangers, you decide what to do. Joker status. And then the Astronomer and her evil Psycho Rangers and Dark Honda's kidnapping, planet infesting, destroying ass, and Eclipta's obedient dogmatic Dark Knight. A whole Quantrons, another force, Piranatrons and Quantrons. 2 Tron forces of villains. And then we eradicate all evil. We destroy everything. And then there's more evil people in space. Because you forgot to miss the Lost Galaxy. The Z-Wave didn't go that far. There's still more evil. You didn't eradicate the potential for evil to come in the future, or evil that's still out there beyond your reach. Why is the Zangek Empire still here? Why Lothor's still around? Why was Mesocog able to become Mesocog? Because more aliens kept on showing up. And then once those freaking insectoids was vanquished, what ended up happening? Demons from hell! Demons, literal satanic entities came, and they're Power Rangers. And this time they were getting paid to be Power Rangers because they were grown. Lightspeed rescue issued by the government took those down. Mutants from the future. Now we have to fight things from the future. We literally just was fighting things from space and hell. Now we got to fight things from the future. And then after that, we got to fight ancient monsters now. Like the orgs are literally just ancient monsters with horns. Lothor, he literally got more aliens from outer space because he was human and he got banished into outer space, and then he just spent the block with friends. And apparently, like Mara and Dupree, they're related to him some way, somehow. And they get vanquished and stuff. They get destroyed and go back to the Abyss of Evil, and that opens up in season 2 because Mesogog comes back with his freaking monsters and his Tyrannodrones or whatever he had going on, and they get vanquished. And then SPD literally is just about locking up intergalactic criminals. Mystic Force, more ancient threats, Overdrive, 2 brothers that got the powers of fire and ice by trying to get the Corona Aurora, Jungle Fury, an ancient dragon spirit taking the form of a lion spirit and infecting Jared, and now you have to fight ancient ancestral threats again. RPM, robots that already destroyed everything. It's literally what everybody is afraid AI is going to do. And then more demons from hell. The Sanzu River, it's Japanese hell. It's river hell, and they all come from that river. And so long as they get human sadness or blood, depending on the translation. And then there's even more aliens. The War Star aliens, the Zangek Empire, Sledge, Galvanax. And then after that, we get chatbots in the form of Blaze and Roxy, and then Vengix comes back again. Now it's robots again. More aliens because Void Queen shows up and Void Knight. And then even more aliens because Inkworth and Bajillionaire and them show up. So yeah, I don't see how the Rangers are ever gonna quit their job when there's nothing but aliens constantly coming to destroy everything. Aliens, demons, ancient ancestral threats, robots, bugs. There's all types of monsters and stuff like that. And even something like Lord Draken, an evil Power Ranger that turns Power Rangers evil. Freaking Dark Spectre, he corrupts the Morphin grid, and he also turned Rangers evil in the comic books. So you even might have to fight against other Power Rangers. Where are you quitting? When do you get a vacation? The answer is, the only time you get a vacation is if you destroy enough evil villains for there to be a pause in the amount of aliens that are coming to destroy you. That's the only time you're going to get a vacation. Because realistically speaking, all of these Rangers should have been on call for every single threat that came. Sanzu River, there was no reason the Mighty Morphin Rangers or the Lightspeed Rescue Rangers shouldn't have been dealing with that. The reason why is because this show has to be about this specific team of Power Rangers. But realistically, if a crisis calls for aliens and monsters to attack human beings, then literally they should be on call all the time for that, bro. There should be no retirement, because you're going to retire and then what's going to happen? You're going to get married and stuff like that, and then Ikagen's just going to blow up your wedding, and then he's just going to laugh about it, and then you're going to wonder where your morpher is. Your wife's going to be on the floor. It's going to be a corpse, and then he's going to blow a hole in you with a finger beam, and then the last thing you're going to hear before you die is the sound of his Cash App. And that can happen. That's not just him. That's any villain could do that. So I don't understand why Rangers are giving up the power. That never made no sense to me. And I went on about that for a while. I guess I want to go over I don't think I'm gonna go over no villains in this video because this is already too long. But I guess I'll go over some Dunkin egg real quick. Basically, if you're a Game of Thrones person, Which I don't know how many people that view my channel do like Game of Thrones, because some reason the algorithm only attracts Power Ranger people when I'm trying to get both. But more or less, like Dunkin Egg, Night of the Seven Kingdoms, if you enjoyed seasons 1 through 4 of Game of Thrones, you're gonna enjoy this one. It's perfect in every way. It's one of the most beautiful, magnetic things I've ever seen. And it's a story of true heroism, man. It's a story of facing, I don't want to spoil it too much. If you want me to hear more about A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, watch my other video, because I go over it in great length. Or just go watch it yourself and then go back to the video and go watch that and give that a like and comment on that as well. So yeah, basically. Now, as far as my project is concerned, I do have several projects going on at once. There's Digimon Digital Redux, which I don't even know if I want to continue that one. Well, I'm going to continue it regardless, but I don't know if I want to get back to it immediately, because I feel like people more or less, it's like the Power Ranger stuff. But I had Power Rangers Shattered Grid Redux, and I also had Power Rangers Altered Universe, where Shattered Grid Redux is mostly the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers back in the day, dealing with the retelling of the events of Shattered Grid, where it's Shattered Grid, but basically everything's different now because there's more characters that weren't in Shattered Grid, telling them about the events of Shattered Grid. So Draken and the Rangers do things slightly differently, essentially. And Power Rangers Ultimate Universe, now that is a big multiverse series. You already know that, because if you watch this video, if you've gotten this far into the video and you've been familiar with this channel, then I'm pretty sure y'all familiar with Power Rangers Ultimate Universe. It's a big multiverse video. Flawless Military, which consists of Rodexio and various other characters, mostly rehabilitated villains, essentially, like Madara, Littlefinger, and Organization 13, and also the 2 scientists, Dexter and Beatrice. We have several teams under there, like Star Force. I'm also making a Primal Fury team. I'm leading into that, into my Power Rangers Ultimate Universe story. There's probably going to be some other teams that I'm probably going to lean into more. Probably going to make some more episodes to the Ex Machina team, and maybe find a way to develop the SPD plotline with the Pat Rangers. Because Jack, the last I left off with SPD, Jack Landers just kind of came back because Sky was too focused on destroying the Flawless Military when he needs to be teaming up with the Flawless Military to get at these galactic crash outs. And Jack understood that more than Sky did, so that's why Jack came into the fold. So I'm planning on doing something with SPD eventually. Like every team I'm planning on doing something with eventually. It's really hard for me to navigate exactly what I want to do at times, because I literally have over 1,000 characters to worry about. Every Power Ranger, every Game of Thrones character, the little bit of Kingdom Hearts characters I got here, and the handful of Naruto characters I got here as well. So, and all the other teams and stuff, and any other, like I said, it's stacked it. And then not to mention the villains alone is literally over 100 characters. So I'm pretty stacked. So me finding an immediate focus on what to make at times can be challenging. But for the most part, I still continue despite that. And I'm more than likely going to continue making these videos despite that, because I thoroughly enjoy making them. It's been a year now, guys. I've made this video last year around this time frame, and it's been a whole year. And I would say that now I would like to thank all of you who tune into the channel, who engage with the content, who actually enjoy what I do here. And if there's anything you would like me to add, any suggestions that you would have, please feel free to comment in the comment section. I'm going to cut this video off now. And all of you have a wonderful day, and may the power protect you and stay safe.